All right, I'm going to walk you through 3 products that you've heard of, except they were failed successful products. So bubble wrap. Bubble wrap was originally created to be wallpaper and no one wanted it. Listerine. Listerine was created to address and fix gonorrhea. And my favorite, Viagra. Viagra was actually invented to lower blood pressure by increasing blood flow, but no one wanted it for that. People wanted it for something else. Here's the thing. All 3 of these products were invented for completely different problems, but it failed. And then they figured out how to actually reorient that product to a successful problem to solve. This is the magic of product positioning. Now, you may have an incredible technology, but you've got it positioned towards the wrong thing. But if you can position your product effectively, then you could have massive success. And a lot of times founders, especially founders that are technical, me right here, and I'll tell you how ToutApp went through this, we tend to be married to how we're positioning our product. We don't think about it broadly, and it's to our detriment. So in this episode, I'm gonna walk you through the 3 principles you need to follow to actually position your product effectively, to actually make sure that you're going after the best and highest use for your product. Intro. What's up, everybody? Welcome to Unstoppable. I'm TK, and on this channel, I help SaaS founders like you grow your SaaS businesses faster with an unstoppable strategy. If you are new to the channel, welcome. Be sure to hit that subscribe button and that bell icon. That way you'll get notified every single time I drop an episode with the TK energy. If you're already part of this channel, if you're part of our community, if you're part of my SaaS go-to-market coaching program, welcome back. Happy New Year. It's so awesome to see you over here. Okay, so when I first started ToutApp, we had this mantra for the company. It was copy and paste is so 1990s. Copy and paste is so 1990s. It was catchy. It was on our business cards. It was on our tagline. We used to tell people about it. It was in our ads. And it worked to a certain extent. Like, that's what we launched with. Because originally ToutApp was email tracking, templates and analytics and follow-ups. And it was all about, hey, like, stop having to copy and paste the same message. We can just create templates for you. And all kinds of people loved it. But it wasn't really a big market. It wasn't going to be a $1 billion market, which sales engagement is right now. It was like, okay. It wasn't until we repositioned the product to salespeople. It wasn't until we said, you know what, this product actually helps you generate more pipeline, did we really start to take off like crazy. And that happened because we took the time to actually reposition the product against its best and highest use. The technology didn't change. It was the same technology, same features. We were selling the same thing. We just positioned it in a much more effective way, and that led to more growth. And this is when I really learned the importance of properly positioning your product. So in this episode, I learned a lot about how to position products. We deal with this very specifically in our SaaS go-to-market coaching program with founders. So I'm going to walk you through the 3 principles you need to know so that you can start to think about positioning your product effectively. So if you're excited to dig in, go ahead and smash that like button if you haven't already. Let's go to principle number 1. So principle number 1 is, what is the highest and best use of our technology? This is the question you want to be asking yourself. So you've built this product, you've built this incredible product, this technology, maybe it's a breakthrough, maybe it's on a new platform. The most important question for you to ask is, you may have built it originally thinking about solving a certain problem, but as you think about some of these products that were invented to solve a certain problem and then went on to solve a different, more important problem better, the question you may be wanting to ask yourself is, what is the highest and best use of our technology? Now, there are different ways to answer this question, and I can't go into the details of exactly how in this video because that's for a separate, that's much more in-depth thing. But some examples would be to ask your most rabid users on, hey, why do you use this? What's the big benefit you're getting out of it? Is there some core product loop that they're using that's way more valuable to them? It's about thinking broadly about, well, what is the real result that we're delivering for people, and what are the other kinds of people that want the same kind of result? Now, I would encourage you also to kind of Google the history of bubble wrap, Listerine, Viagra, because it'll help you start to understand some of the patterns around, well, they invented this to solve this thing, this was the result, and this result is actually more valuable if we position it in a different way. It'll get you to start thinking about, what is the highest and best use of our technology? Now, mind you, the important thing to remember in a positioning exercise is that it's not about more features. Don't fall into the one more feature trap. It's much more about what is the best and highest use of the technology that we already have, that we've already created, and can we orient it in a better way? So that's principle number one. The second question for you is, who has the most important and urgent problem? Who has the most important and urgent problem? When we were making the switch from just anyone that's a power email user to salespeople, we were saying, you know what? Salespeople complain the least. They're the most fun to work with. They love our product. They're willing to pay as much as possible because it pays for itself with one extra deal in an enterprise organization. Like, let's go work with them. And so we were able to hone in on that specific ICP. We were able to hone in on that specific segment of the market. And we were able to hone in on specific roles that cared about this the most. So you want to be asking yourself, once you hone in on what is the highest and best use, think about who has the biggest, most important and urgent need for this highest and best use solution. So I did an entire video talking about market segmentation, which is an extension of product positioning. So you can check that out here. You don't have to go right now. I'll link to it below. You can check it out after. And they'll tell you a little bit more about how to really segment your market appropriately and the principles to follow for that. Now, I have a third principle, but before I go into that, let me just pause here for a second. Let me just pause. Are you starting to see the power in this just from these two principles? See, we as SaaS founders and technologists and inventors, we fall in love with the solution. We fall in love with this incredible technology. What we forget about is this technology can be used in so many different ways. And my goal for this video was to get you to realize the technology can remain the same, but if you can position it in better ways, just even by following the two principles that I've covered already, you can actually massively shift the success of your product, the impact of your product. And that's really what matters, right? You want to make sure your technology is being used for the right impact. That's what matters the most. So if you're starting to see this, if you're starting to see the value, can I just get a yes in the comments below so I can hear from you? It's awesome to hear from you. My team loves it. I love it. We respond to every single comment. So if you have questions, go ahead and put in the question below and we'll answer. And also smash that like button if you haven't already. Also, if you're starting to think about, well, what is our product positioning? How do we develop our value proposition? How do we feed that into a cohesive go-to-market machine so we can grow faster? This is why I have my SaaS go-to-market coaching program. Step-by-step process that we guide you through to actually build a scalable go-to-market machine. I'll tell you more about that at the end of this video, but let's go to principle number 3. Principle number 3 is what sets you apart. What is your unique value proposition? Once you start to hone in on look, we understand now how we can best use this technology, the highest and best use, and we know exactly who needs it. How do you set it apart, right? Like when you think about bubble wrap and Listerine and Viagra, what was the thing that they did that set them apart and said, hey, we're actually the best for this, right? This is where your value proposition comes in. This is where you clearly craft what makes you different, how you actually deliver on it, who it's for, and why they need to take action now. So you'll have to develop your value proposition that matches principle 1 and principle 2 as well. If you want to understand the principles around value proposition, I did a video on 4 steps to creating value proposition. Check that out here. I'll also link to it below. You don't have to go right now. So let me recap here so you kind of get the full picture. Number 1, you need to make sure with the technology you have, what is the highest and best use of our technology, right? It may not be what you think it is. The market may tell you differently. Number 2 is who has the most important urgent problem that this highest and best use solves, right? Who can we actually meet with? Who can we serve in the biggest way using this technology that we've created? And number 3 is how do we communicate that? What sets us apart? How do we differentiate? And when you do these 3 things, these 3 simple components, you start to develop your product positioning. When you do that, you end up rising above the competition. You end up going into the highest value customers. You end up growing faster. So those are my 3 principles, battle hardened over 15 years of building SaaS businesses. And if you are in this stage where you're developing your product positioning, you're developing your value proposition, you're developing your go-to-market machine, and you want to grow faster, these are critical components. And you don't want to just keep listening to the videos that gives you the principles. You want a step-by-step process to follow, and you want actual coaching to get through it faster. Then I invite you to check out my SaaS go-to-market coaching program. Here's the thing. I drop a video 3 times a week, and they're chock full of actual principles that you can follow. But the principles are just that. They're why you need to do something and how you can start to go about doing it. But we don't get it in the what because it takes longer than a 10-minute video, and it takes real coaching to do it properly. This is why I have my coaching programs. The coaching programs go into the what you need to do, gives you the training and my coaching, my 15 years of experience, so that you can get through these stages effectively, so that you can reduce execution risk. So if you're in this stage, we'd love to figure out if we can help you. Go to tkcater.com/GTM for details around my SaaS go-to-market program. We are taking new applications for founders to join. Last year, we had an incredible successful year with our program members. We're even more excited about this year. So we would love to explore if we can help you go faster, grow your business faster with an effective go-to-market machine. Go to tkcater.com/GTM. If you got value from this video, be sure to smash that like button. That way we can actually spread our word, reach more founders, help more people. And remember, we also do 3 episodes every week, so be sure to hit the subscribe button and that bell icon if you haven't already. But you'll get notified every single time I drop an episode with more principles and strategies to grow your SaaS business faster. Also, if you have a fellow founder, a team that could get value from this, please share this video with them. It'll mean the world to us. And lastly, remember, everyone needs a strategy for their life and their business, but when you are with us, yours is gonna be unstoppable. I'm TK. I'll see you in the next episode.